What if the most painful part of your childhood wasn't what happened to you, but what never happened to you? No shouting, no obvious trauma, no moment you can point to and say, that's where it broke. And yet, something did. Something quiet. Something invisible. Something that followed you into adulthood and shaped the way you love, trust, and see yourself.
Before we begin, if this video speaks to something you felt but could never quite explain, take a second to like this video. It helps more people who are silently struggling find it. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss videos like this that put words to what's been hard to understand. And if you know someone who might need to hear this, share it with them. Sometimes one video can say what we've never been able to say.
Some children are not broken by what happened to them. They are broken by what never came. By the hand that was never placed gently on their shoulder. By the voice that never softened when they were afraid. By the absence of a place that felt safe enough to rest. Because there are no bruises in absence. The wound often goes unnamed. A child can grow up fed, clothed, educated, and still remain emotionally unseen. Still waiting for a warmth that never quite arrives. And when that child becomes an adult, the world often praises them. You're so strong, so independent, so mature, so low maintenance. But beneath those polished labels, there is something quieter. A grief with no funeral. A hunger with no language. A life shaped by one silent question. What was love supposed to feel like?
Not every unloved child grows up in chaos. Some grow up in homes that look almost normal. There's food on the table, clothes are washed, birthdays are remembered, photos are taken. Nothing looks broken enough to alarm anyone. And yet, something essential is missing. Not always care, not always provision, but warmth. The feeling of being truly seen. A child reaches for a parent with joy, fear, confusion, sadness, and receives not cruelty, but something harder to name. Distraction, impatience, emotional distance, flatness. And slowly, the child begins to understand something dangerous. Some feelings don't land anywhere. Joy is too loud. Sadness is inconvenient. Anger is unsafe. Need is embarrassing. So they adjust. Because children always adjust.
They become observant in ways no child should have to be. They listen to footsteps. They study facial expressions. They learn when to speak and when to disappear. They shape themselves into the version that causes the least trouble. And because children are loyal, they don't conclude that love is missing. They conclude something far more damaging. Something must be wrong with me. That belief doesn't stay in childhood. It becomes the blueprint for everything. How you interpret silence. How you receive affection.
how you measure your worth. Years later, you may struggle to explain what was wrong, because nothing dramatic happened. No single moment. Just 1,000 quiet ones, where you reached for connection and found no one emotionally there. But your body remembers, even when your mind can't explain it. It remembers how loneliness felt, how comfort didn't come down to, how love never felt safe enough to rest inside. And here's the deeper truth. Love rarely disappears in one generation. It fades slowly, distorted by stress, trauma, silence, or survival. The parent who couldn't offer tenderness was often never given it. The one who seems distant may have learned long ago that softness wasn't safe. This doesn't excuse the pain, but it explains the pattern. Because children don't grow up in isolation, they inherit emotional environments, unspoken rules, invisible limits, generations of unmet needs. In some homes, emotions are ignored. In others, they're punished. In others, they're simply absent. And so the child adapts to the atmosphere, because atmosphere teaches faster than words ever could. Over time, this shapes something fundamental: how you relate to love. Some become anxious, constantly reaching, afraid of being abandoned, feeling like they're always too much. Others become avoidant, learning not to need anyone at all, because needing once led to disappointment. And sometimes both exist in the same person, wanting closeness, fearing closeness, moving forward while simultaneously pulling away. This isn't weakness, it's adaptation. The unloved child often becomes the adult who handles everything alone, apologizes for needing help, overgives, over-explains, asks for very little. They look functional, even impressive, but underneath there is a silent emergency. Love still doesn't feel safe. So adulthood becomes a strategy. Some try to earn love through success, others through usefulness, others by becoming emotionally self-contained. I don't need anyone. But that's not always strength. Sometimes it's protection.
And this creates a quiet war inside. One part longs to be seen, to be loved without performing. Another part doesn't believe that kind of love exists, or worse, believes it won't last. So even when love shows up, it feels unfamiliar, untrustworthy, uncomfortable. A healthy relationship may feel boring. A kind partner may feel suspicious. A compliment may not land. And sometimes, care doesn't bring comfort. It brings grief. Because your body finally recognizes what it never received.
This is why people return to what hurts them. Because pain can feel familiar, and familiar feels like home. But then something shifts. Not all at once, but slowly, quietly. Maybe it's a relationship that feels different, a moment of exhaustion, a question you can't ignore anymore. And for the first time, you begin to wonder, what if nothing was wrong with me? What if the loneliness was real? What if the patterns were learned? What if the problem was never your worth, but what you were never given?
That realization isn't freeing at first. It's heartbreaking, because it means revisiting the past with new eyes, seeing how young you were, how normal your needs were, how often you blamed yourself for something you couldn't control. But within that grief, there is also something powerful: clarity. Because once you stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" you can finally ask, "What happened to me?" And that question changes everything. Healing from emotional neglect isn't dramatic. It's quiet. It happens in small moments, noticing your needs, allowing rest, letting someone be kind to you without pushing them away.
It's learning a new emotional language, where needs aren't shameful, where love isn't earned, where being cared for doesn't create debt. At first, it feels unnatural. Your body may still brace, your mind may still doubt. But slowly, something shifts. You begin to see your patterns not as flaws, but as survival. The people pleaser, the overachiever, the emotionally distant version of you. They weren't weaknesses, they were protection. And when you stop fighting those parts, you can finally begin to outgrow them. Because healing doesn't erase the past, it changes your relationship to it.
And maybe, just maybe, you begin to realize you were never too much. You were never not enough. You were simply a child waiting for a kind of love you were never taught to receive. And even now, despite everything, some part of you still believes in it, still searches for it, still hopes for it. And maybe that's the most powerful truth of all, that even after growing up without being fully loved, you are still capable of love, still capable of softness, of connection, of healing. Not because you were given enough, but because something inside you never stopped believing that love exists. And maybe that's where healing begins. If this video resonated with you, I'd really like to hear your thoughts. Share your experience or reflection in the comments. Your story might help someone else feel less alone. If you know someone who's been quietly carrying this kind of weight, consider sharing this video with them. It might give them the words they've been searching for. And if you're not ready to leave just yet, there are more videos on this channel that go deeper into healing, self-understanding, and emotional growth. Take a moment to watch the next one. It might be exactly what you need right now.